Hey YouTube, welcome to Walk in Faith. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys 4 signs of a toxic person. And just a quick disclaimer, we all make mistakes, right? Nobody's perfect. So I'm not talking about somebody in your life who you go through ups and downs with, because that's typical in any relationship. You go through things, sometimes you may disagree, but toxic people in particular are intolerable people. You know, they're not interested in changing or growing. They are the way that they are, and they're very difficult to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Like, they take a toll on you mentally, and they can just negatively impact your overall well-being. So it's really important for you to be able to identify these people so that you can move accordingly. So hopefully some of these signs will help you to identify these toxic people. The first sign of a toxic person is somebody who is very prideful. So this person is arrogant, like they think they are just the best thing since sliced bread, you know? You can't tell them nothing. They feel like everybody is envious of them. Like, you ever been around somebody who just thinks everyone is jealous of them? You know, everybody is hating on them because of their looks, maybe the different things that they have, like material wise, accomplishments that they've made. They feel like everybody is jealous and hating on them, when in actuality nobody really cares. But in their mind, they just have this exaggerated sense of self-importance. So they place themselves on this high pedestal and they make it seem like everybody else is beneath them. And we know that the Bible tells us about having haughty eyes, meaning looking at people as if they're lower than you. You know, so be mindful of prideful people in your life. They are very selfish. They don't really care about anybody else but themselves. They only care about their own needs, and they kind of feel like they are entitled to things, you know? So be mindful of prideful people in your life. They're very difficult individuals. The second sign of a toxic person is going to be somebody who does not take accountability for their actions. So for some people, accountability is like a death sentence, okay? They would literally rather die than be responsible for something that they did. So you got to be mindful of these people in your life, because you're hardly ever going to get an apology from them. Or if you do get one, it's not really going to be genuine. So for example, if somebody insulted you by telling you a joke, right? Say they made a joke about you, but you didn't really find it funny and you found it actually hurtful. So if you express yourself to them about the hurtful joke they made, they'll kind of use reverse psychology and make it seem like you're the problem. Like, they'll call you sensitive or say, you know, get over it, you're being insecure, whatever, instead of just owning it and saying, you know what, I apologize for hurting you. I won't do this going forward. Very simple, but these people, it hurts their ego tremendously to own up to being someone who has flaws, who's, you know, makes mistakes like everybody else because they feel like they are better than others. So be mindful of people who can't take accountability. Very toxic. So the third sign of a toxic person is going to be a narcissist. Now, this is a very loaded personality trait. So I'm actually going to do a few videos on this topic of narcissism specifically, because I've experienced narcissistic abuse firsthand for years. So hopefully my experiences can help you to overcome narcissistic abuse. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so you can be notified of these videos. But if I could sum up a narcissist in total, they are very manipulative people. Like, they're only out for themselves. They're very selfish. They're self-seeking. And there's nothing that you can do to please a narcissist, because they're not pleased with themselves. So what they do is they project their own insecurities and traumas onto you and make it seem like you're the problem. So they gaslight a lot. They try to make you feel like you're going crazy. You know, their goal is to really make you feel as bad as they feel inside. So you got to really be mindful of these people in your life. And one telltale sign that you're dealing with a narcissist is if you ever are in communication with them and you feel like you want to record your conversation. Like, you feel like you want to record the interactions with them just so they can see how they sound. But just understand that that's not going to work, because narcissists don't seek to they don't seek to understand you, right? They only want you to understand them. They only want to get their own point across. So they're not interested in growth, hearing what you have to say. They don't care about your pain. They feel like you need to change and not them. So they don't take any responsibility at all. These narcissists are very dangerous people. They're very toxic people, and they can have a strong, long-lasting effect on you if you don't realize what you're dealing with. So stick around for the videos that I'm going to do on narcissism, because it's a very in-depth topic and I can't get into all of it in this video. So the fourth and final sign of a toxic person is somebody who is abusive. And this can be physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. You know, there's never a time where it's okay for somebody to put their hands on you. So if you're facing physical abuse, I'm actually going to put a link below to a place where you can seek some help. I know that this situation is very difficult to get out of sometimes. It's not always so easy to just leave, but hopefully you can try to find some help and some support to get you through the situation. And of course, I would always say to pray and ask God for guidance, wisdom on what you should do to get yourself out of that situation. So physical abuse is very toxic. It's nothing that anybody should deal with. And also mental abuse, emotional abuse, like people insulting you, disrespecting you. These things are not tolerable, and you shouldn't put up with it, because you should love yourself more than that. So if these are the things that you're dealing with, know that you are involved with a toxic person, and it's not something that you deserve or should be dealing with in your life. Those were 4 signs of a toxic person. Also, stick around, because I'm going to do a video on how to deal with toxic people. But I thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If you have, know that God loves you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Be blessed.